All right, boys and girls and kaiju of all ages, welcome to what I'm pretty sure is the first episode of 2026 of The World is My Burrito. As always, I am your host, Corey T, coming at you with a Monarch Season 2 Pre-Season topic. So today I have a couple of guests on to chat about Season 1 and expectations for Season 2. So without further ado, starting off, rejoining us is Zack from the Neatcast Podcasters Assemble and probably every podcast you listen to. Zack, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I am looking forward to the new season, see what they do with it, what they can improve upon for the second season. Because we'll do a recap, but we'll get into what we hope will change. But you and I had overall favorable opinions of season 1, but that's why I think the next guest I found for you is going to give a little bit of a different approach, different flavor than what you and I have provided.
So I've been told. It's also worth mentioning, and I totally forgot about this until I re-listened to that episode. That was your inaugural episode for The World is My Burrito. That was the first time
Correct.
that I had you on. Yeah.
Finally. Years
mind-blowing.
in the making.
Now, our next guest, this is, new guest to the show, and he's also new to me, because I have never spoken with him before, but this is Bob from the Great Pop Culture Debate. Bob, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, we've never spoken, not even before we started this recording. I was just
exactly. I didn't know who was going to be here.
And yeah, so hi, I'm Bob from the Great Pop Culture Debate. Zach is also from the Great Pop Culture Debate with me. We are on that together on occasion. So, but yeah, excited to be here. Excited to give different opinions of season 1 and lots of hopefuls for season 2. So we'll see how that goes.
I think some of us are more full of hope than others.
Oh, I'm so hopeful.
So you will be hearing Bob's voice probably the most. The way this series is going to work is going to be very akin to Alien Earth. So Zack and Bob are going to be the primary guests that are on this. I will have some other guests. Right now, I have definitely 2, possibly 3 interested. So now is a good time to once again invite kaiju fans onto the podcast. Your only prerequisites are that you've at least watched Monarch Season 1 and are watching Monarch Season 2. I don't even know if I care that you've watched the rest of the Legendary films. That might help.
Oh, I was supposed to watch season 1? Shit.
Oh, no.
Instantly hated it. You read all the 1-star Rotten Tomato reviews. So previously, Zack and I covered this. As I mentioned earlier, that is episode 22. If you didn't hear that, go back and check it out. We are going to be covering a lot of same ground, so I don't apologize. Maybe just put it on 2 times speed and just get over it. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be every single week of the show because we all got stuff going on. So we'll see how that goes out. I know every single, I can watch it every week, but God knows sitting down and recording, I only have so many pairs of pants, man.
That's why pants are always optional while podcasting,
Always
Corey.
optional.
I can't stress this enough.
So the last time Zack and I started this off with our familiarity with Godzilla. So Bob, what is your familiarity with the King of the Monsters?
It's pretty familiar, kaiju in general. I grew up watching the Godzilla films, the Gamera films. I said I wasn't going to mention Gamera, but I did because I love him.
Fine.
Godzilla
Kaiju talk
films,
is kaiju talk.
Gamera, really anything kaiju related. Even going so far as to getting into the Pacific Rim of it all as well when it comes to kaiju. But I remember seeing Godzilla multiple movies in the theater, including the Matthew Broderick. Was that 96, 97? What year?
99.
99.
Yeah, that time frame.
Or 98, sorry. 99 was Godzilla 2000.
Yeah. Well, I saw the Godzilla with Matthew Broderick, and then thank God I got the palate cleanser of 2000 in the theater a few years later. So, which actually, that may have been the first time I actually got an opportunity to see a real, other than the Matthew Broderick film, a real like Godzilla movie on screen, was being able to see the 2000. Yeah. So
Yeah, that was I'm pretty sure that was their first ever American release of a Japanese theatrical release.
And I love him, and it's kind of like any kind of franchise or fandom. Like, you love the main character, but he's not your favorite character. There's tons of other kaiju besides Godzilla that I love so much more. You know, nobody's favorite character is Harry Potter. It's always the secondary characters, right? So I'm a Godzilla fan. I love him, but you know, kaiju in general.
No, that's cool to hear. So for Legendary specifically, have you seen all of the films that are out there? What are there, like 5 films right now?
Yeah, I saw them. I've seen most of them. I'm not familiar with. I've seen parts of Skull Island. Oh
man!
But I haven't been able to see the.
Skull Island is definitely worth the watch of the Legendary films.
Yeah, surprisingly good, because that's John C. Reilly, right?
He is in it, yes.
Yeah, vehemently against that. When I saw him in the trailers, I was like, this movie's gonna suck. And surprisingly good character. He has more range than just being a Will Ferrell side character.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, but the Godzilla main line from Legendary, absolutely seen those all. Seen them in the theater. So, you know, diminishing returns after the first, but you know.
They're fun. It's always interesting to hear people's takes on them, because I know that
there was at least more Godzilla in the second Godzilla film.
Oh yeah,
you can't really do much less Godzilla in a Godzilla film than 2014. So they were able to actually increase it.
Yes, that's true. If I'm gonna see a Godzilla picture or a kaiju picture, like I want to see the kaiju, I'd like to see Godzilla. Now we'll get to the show in a minute.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's not a Godzilla show, everybody. It's a monster show. But whatever.
there's definitely room for improvement. We'll all get into it.
Yeah. So speaking of room for improvement, Rotten Tomatoes had season 1, both the critics and users, in roughly the 80% range. I think it was like low 80s and high 70s respectively. At least at the time. Say again.
Is that still true?
Apple pays for play on Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry, don't believe it.
Don't believe everything you see.
Nope.
But I think Zach and I were roughly in the same boat as far as our opinions on the first season, where like it was great, but there was certainly room for improvement. Now the way that Bob was introduced to me, I wish I had like at least screenshotted it, but Zach said something along the lines of like, you know, I mentioned wanting a guest, and he's like, oh yeah, well I have someone who I think you just straight up said he hated season 1 or had some very spicy opinions on season 1.
I think spicy was used in my description of Bob, which Bob brings a spice, which is, you know, hey, if you're going to give us a different flavor, use some spice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am not against it, because even on rewatch, you know, I've got some positives. I have a couple of extra negatives that I've added. But before all that, Bob, what was your take on season 1?
Look, I'm not going to say hated it, because I don't want to be that guy who's just like, oh, he just hates it. I watched all of it. That's one take of it. I got through the whole thing. There are parts that definitely needed some improvement for me. I said this in the Discord or at the chat when we initially started talking about this. And maybe I'll amend this comment a little bit, having rewatched some of the recaps, etc., of the season. Is I was really disappointed that I thought it was a little devoid of monsters for a monster show. You know, I watched some recaps and I was reminded, I'm like, okay, there was a little bit more monster than I do remember, but overall it was wait for the monster. Where's the monster? And that was really frustrating to me. And I made the comment to you too about like, where's Godzilla? Where's Godzilla? And I get it, it's not a Godzilla show, but I want to see Godzilla. Like if you're gonna have, it's if it's a Monarch show and it's about kaiju and it's all those things, Godzilla is the king in among that. And they were bringing us monsters. There's the one scene in Alaska, or was it wherever the snow was? I can't remember if they were in Alaska or where they were,
or whatever it was.
and this thing comes up. I'm like, what is this? There's this whole like gallery of monsters that they could be using, and there's this that I don't even really know what it is. And it's like, it's kind of like the new Jurassic Park movies where they're just inventing dinosaurs now. They're just creating dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And it's like, who are these people? I don't know these people. So that was kind of one of my biggest beefs with it. It was like, I was maybe expecting more monsters than I got. And I think that was disappointing. But now looking at some of the recaps, I'm like, okay, there was more monster than I remember. And maybe my expectation was just so high that I wasn't even appreciating the monster I was getting. But I still think it's pretty slim on monsters in general. It's, it's mostly the people. So I'll break there for a second if anybody else wants to interject before I share any other thoughts.
No, I'll agree there, because on rewatch, watching it the first time through, I was fine with everything, but on the second watch, I did wish there was a little bit more, because we have like one entire episode that's dedicated to May/Korra's background. It's doing the jumping around where it's both her past and her present. And it's like, man, there's just, it is important, but that's also towards the end of the show. So I think they're trying to do, like, throw whatever they can at the wall to ensure a season 2 is a thing. So let's just get this other character fleshed out. Whereas, let's see, Kate and, is it Hiroki Kentaro is
Kentaro?
the
Kentaro.
brother.
Yes.
They are developed over time, and I really enjoyed that, because you get these snippets, and then all of a sudden May/Korra has one entire episode that's dedicated to her. So I would agree, and to some degree I wish they had a little bit more. I'm fine with the America design kaiju. I think at this point they had access to more from Toho. Toho's always very, like, 2014, they're like, you get Godzilla. That's what you get.
True.
That's what
true.
you deal with. And then as they progressed, they unlocked, it's like DLC.
It's like Smash Brothers. You got to play enough.
Yeah,
before you
earnable
get
characters.
character.
Yeah. But I always, my overall take, because we haven't spoken about anything in Legendary, but my overall take on Legendary, and on Americans' handling of Godzilla, is Americans should not be trying to tell a Japanese story.
True.
Because Godzilla 98 is trying to do the whole, travesty thing, and this is like 3 years before 9/11, and post 9/11 we get Cloverfield, which is like the better version of Godzilla 98.
That's true.
Because it has a lot more...
Much better version.
Yeah, it has a lot more, there's a goofiness. I love 98. Everyone knows that. But Cloverfield is much more of like a traumatic experience, and it benefits from a world where we are suffering from something. And in 98, we weren't suffering from anything. So Zilla's, it's not a good story. It's not compelling because there's nothing bad happening. And in this, while not a ton has changed, I at least like, okay, Americans have accepted this is our... Toho is allowing us to make our creation. I like how Americanized the films are, because many of them feel like they are references to other American or even British films, but like Caucasian films of the past. Because GVK is like literally Journey to the Center of the Earth. And a giant ape goes on a journey of self-discovery, and like that is fucking hilarious, and it's it's fun. But I like our designs because I want it to be the American take. I don't want us to keep badly rehashing Japanese stuff because we don't understand it. So I like the weird creatures, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, the like aardvark that kind of looks like an ode to Anguirus with a mole. Yeah. But it's got the star nose mole nose thing going on. We've got cockroaches because, of course, like that's our thing.
It's creepy.
Yeah. And then the weird ion dragon, which just looks extremely goofy on rewatch. So yeah, that's where I stand. I like that we do our own thing because it's cool, especially in this show, because if you start introducing all of the other big ones, if you're only using the Toho ones, then suddenly the world has like 30 titans that are hundreds of meters tall, and like, where are they hiding? Even in the Underworld or Axis Mundi, these things are too big to miss. So where are all of them? So having the smaller ones, the niche ones, is very fun. Godzilla the Animated Series did that very well, where everything's a lot smaller, so they can hide in other places. They can hide in the depths of South America or the jungles or something, or in Alaska, where a lot of that is just unlivable. Or in I forget where the bug was, but it was in I think a previous some type of a missile facility.
Yeah, something like that.
So areas that are unlivable, how do you put something that's 100 plus meters tall living there? So you got to make them tinier.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things that I think I wasn't super excited about was, for me, when you watch these monster films, for me, like, I think these kaiju films, right? There's always that character, or there's that relationship or that connection to the kaiju. And I didn't really get that from the series, right? Like, even, there's the Millie Bobby Brown from the movie, that whole connection, and all of the Japanese ones as well. But there always seems to be some sort of relationship and closeness between some of the human actors and the kaiju, and I just didn't feel or get much of that from the show. And I think that's some of what I really love about those sorts of stories, is that it is a monster, it's misunderstood, it's like you or me, and we have these connections or these bonds, and we're all just trying to live, and all those different things, right? So I think that was kind of lacking for me. And I think additionally, I think there was just overall, like, some trite script type stuff, some really kind of bummer script lines, and some of the performances from some of the actors really weren't that exciting for me either. I'm not a big fan of Russell,
Wyatt Russell,
the younger Russell, yeah. In really anything that he does, he's not really one of my favorites. So I don't know. Those were overall my takes or my thoughts around it. But I watched it all because I love it in the end. Like, it's still in the vein of what I love, and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to just continue to hope I'm going to love it someday, right? So,
yeah, I know they did do at least one moment, maybe two, of Kate connecting with Godzilla. I know at one point when her dad is able to summon Godzilla through the desert, where supposedly the dad, I forget his name, Godzilla wasn't sleeping there, but came through an access point. Yes. And that's where he was coming from. And then there was a moment where Kate and Godzilla saw each other, because she's had the traumatic instance of seeing half the kids die on the school bus, and she still has that PTSD, and she's still got a lot of shit she's got to deal with. And they acknowledged each other there before Godzilla walked off, but it's nothing to what we've seen. Yeah, hey,
how you doing?
Okay, got to peace out. Nothing to the point of Gamera or our twins with Mothra, or the Heisei. Godzilla.
Get the psychic.
The psychic that was connected to Godzilla and Junior. Nothing like that yet. Nothing like was it Shuri and Kong? in the
the little
legendary
girl.
films, the little
Yeah.
girls. Nothing to that of extent, and that is something that you do kind of come to expect. But also, they've changed Godzilla a lot now in the legendary films, and he's
true.
less of the natural. He started as a force of nature, and he still kind of is, but now he's bouncing off rocks, tail whipping, and flying all over the underworld. It's great.
Yeah, I'll also agree. On rewatch, I feel like a lot of this is erring on the side of caution, which I think sometimes is an issue with. I feel like it's very Americanized. I don't see this a lot in anime. I feel like anime is reversed, where season 1 is like just throw shit at the wall and hope people come in for season 2.
Yep.
But you talked about like Godzilla 2014. That's my least favorite of the series because it's so safe. It's such a safe movie, and Godzilla's only in there for 11 minutes, and just the whole thing is like very play by the numbers. But every single film after that is like, okay, go hard, because that one just felt very chill. And for season 1 of Monarch, I'm kind of hoping that's the reason. Is they're like, okay, we're gonna do some stuff, but we're also gonna kind of play it safe. Don't go too ham. A lot of these characters don't feel like they're truly fully developed even by the end of it. The best developed characters are like the ones that are barely on screen.
That's true.
Yeah, still Kentaro's mom at the end of the series, and I even made a note of it again when I rewatched it. I was like, God damn, that scene where she hands her husband, she's talking to him, seemingly it almost sounds like she's gonna take him back, and then she's like grabs the box and she's like, but yeah, make sure you keep in touch with your son, and then drops her wedding ring in there and gives him like a little smirk. I'm like, God damn, like she is such a great character.
Well, I think that could be when you're on the topic of character there, right? Sorry to butt in on you there, but like I think this show was so dense with characters in season 1. It's just like it feels like there's a million people to keep track of, a million people to kind of just clock, and it's just like maybe we could cut that back a little bit, kind of get trim some of the fat, get rid of some of the chaff, because it's just like it became to me almost impossible to follow at times, because I don't know who's doing what and who's connected to who's bad, who's good. Like it was just really difficult to follow the plot sometimes, because we're following so many different like sections of these people, and it's just like
different
so
times,
dense with characters. I'm just like, jeepers creepers, enough.
No, and that I'll agree with that as well, because I can see that not being to everyone's liking, because so almost every character has some type of like a hidden angle,
Right.
like the desk jockey, when he starts, he comes off as very aggressive, but you can just attribute it to him being awkward, because he literally just works at a desk and never sees people. But he seems like he's a bad guy, but then he's not. He's actually a good guy who does genuinely want to help him. Tim. Yeah. Tim is a genuinely good guy. And then like, okay, well, there's May, who's actually Korra. There's everyone's searching for Hiroshi, and we find out so much about him, like the least visible character in the whole thing, but there's still a whole arc around him. There is a lot of shifting from Tim's boss being kind of a seeming like a stuck-up bitch to like, also no, she is supporting this as well. There's so many turns of turns of face. Is that what it is?
Face
turns
turns? Of
hand, face turns,
And everything's
whatever.
a red herring too. Like everything's a red herring.
Yeah. One of my notes that I took down that I didn't like, and this is not strictly for Monarch, but it is in a lot of American drama, is the moment when someone really needs to know something, and conveniently they'll see something or something happens that answers the question, like the ant walking to the underside of the map, and then Bill is like, "Oh, but what if there's like, another portals?" And I'm like, "Dude, fucking come on!" Like the Tesseract.
How do they work?
How do they work? I think by adding some more kaiju, maybe we can get away from some of that kind of real goofy. The show takes itself very seriously for having so much goofy shit in it.
It does take itself very seriously. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, like Star Trek. So much seriousness on a goofy fucking show.
Yeah.
But it works.
And I'll add, I was going to lead into this anyways, because I do have some issues. The one thing that really, I don't know how I never noticed this the first time, but in this show, the Godzilla that we know is a little teeny tiny boy in the 1940s until they drop a bomb on him, and then he like triples in size. But as legends would have it, he's always been that big. Like when they're saying, "Oh yeah, he's, you know, millennia old," in GVK, when he goes down to like get the nuclear power to become Burning Godzilla, like that is his kingdom. You know, he is a god, not this. Like he would have in the 40s, he would have been smaller than the Ion Dragon, because that was a little teeny guy. So that I was like, dude, this is a really weird thing to miss out on. Lore wise, but also I thought it was very boring that he's just a tiny version. It's the exact same CG model, just tiny. Like no uniqueness.
I guess that tracks with what Legendary has done over the films, because they've grown Legendary's Godzilla a bit for story, but also just to fuck with Toho, because they made their Godzilla biggest, and then Shin was biggest, and then Legendary said, "Well, ours grew more because he absorbed more."
It was like 5 or 10 meters.
It was only 5 or 10 meters more. It's like, look, he's taller. You know, so they've continued to make him bigger, and now he's evolved and he's sleeker, but he's still taller. So I guess that does track. I mean, they did that with Heisei. You know, they jumped him up to 100 meters in Heisei. You know, from the show it was 70 meters by the end, I want to say.
Yeah, because I think he went from like 50 to
50
about
was
70.
original in 54, and then they upped him a little bit here and there.
In season 2, he's going on Ozempic, so maybe we'll get a smaller Godzilla.
Yeah, as long as nobody sings the tune, we're fine, and we won't be demonetized from all of Corey's massive commercials. All of his ads.
The income that I have from this. So it has its issues. One of the other ones, and again, I think this is a season 1 thing. That whole episode of Korra was just to speed run Monarch working with Apex.
Yeah. You filled in a lot of exposition just to be like, here's how it all ties together, and then we all point at the screen and go, "Oh, they're doing the thing, like, the stuff that we know."
It's the Apex thing. And I have a couple of positives or just things that I noted. Kintaro's art studio is pretty much identical to the one from Big Hero 6. I never commented on that before. It's a very specific style. The Strata Secure Homes is exactly what Zuck built in Hawaii.
Oh,
that
really?
If you've ever seen the layout of Zuckerberg's like fallout shelter, it is the Strata Secure Home, and I don't know which came first. If this show came first, and Zuck was like, "Hey, they're on to something," like this modular home that goes downwards. I think there is some humor. The company, which we found out is Apex later, or becomes Apex later, but the company May was working for made the monkeys that Lex used in James Gunn's Superman.
Yeah.
I feel like that's lore accurate.
It's got to be.
As soon as they showed the monkey, I'm like, oh shit, that's the same thing. It's got the same headpiece that the ones in Superman had.
Just out there tick-tocking away.
I also forgot that season 1 had comic book creators on it, namely Matt Fraction, who's insanely popular, and then Al Letson, who is still growing in popularity, but still, well respected by DC and for some of his own content as well. Kind of would like to see more of that. I didn't have time to look at which specific episodes they wrote, but it's cool.
I'll have to go back to that 'cause I love Matt Fraction. I didn't pick up on that the first time I watched, so I'll have to go back and take a
I
look.
forgot, and then I just happened to look up at one of the intros, and I think Matt Fraction is either like a producer or co-producer or something. And I want to say he wrote one episode, but Al Letson wrote another episode. He's currently working on Mr. Terrific Year 1. But he has Al Letson does a lot more than comics. He's got a lot of stuff out there. Yeah, he has a whole other career outside of comics.
Doing the Google right now.
That was a little bit of feedback from, positives or just things that I didn't notice last time.
Huh. You're right. Matt Fraction. Wow, look at that. I just looked it up. My goodness.
Yeah.
So he hasn't
How did I
even
miss
reached
that?
his final form.
Yeah, no. So I'm interested. I'm not 100% sold on the info that IMDb currently has for season 2. I feel like they do a lot of copy paste for just for ease of access.
Generated by AI garbage.
Yeah.
No, they're not copy and pasting. Corey, you have to pay somebody for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let AI write
Control
the
C,
garbage
Control
now.
V is tough these days.
That I'm not paying somebody to do that.
So, do either of you have any other comments, positive, negative, about season 1 before we move on to what we've got for season 2 so far?
I mean, on the whole, the show looks great, right? There's some crunchy bits for sure, but it looks expensive. It looks pricey, right? It looks nice. It's sleek. So I'll say some nice things there.
Like I said, I think all the stuff you mentioned is valid, and on rewatch, it sticks out a little bit more. And I will add, I enjoyed the show a lot more the first time I saw it because I was sitting and watching it. And this time it was on in the background. I was doing work on my tablet while having Monarch play on my main screen. And I was like, this show is made to be watched. It's not good as background noise.
No,
That's
'cause
true.
if a
You
lot
would
of
miss
that.
way too much that's happening.
Yeah, and then the any of the longer episodes, the distance between kaiju is so much more noticeable if you're not really paying attention. Now, as far as season 2 goes, right now we have both a teaser, which came out a couple of weeks ago, and we have a full trailer.
We do.
And I'm assuming both of you have watched both of those.
Yep.
All right, so for starters, it looks like we're getting the entire previous cast.
Yep.
I almost wish they had not shown Kurt Russell. Like, I think everyone would have known that he would have returned. But
True,
I
that's a
wish
good
they
point.
had, hidden that. Like, oh, is he coming back?
Or
But yeah,
at
it looks like
least
he's coming back immediately.
If you show him, keep him in Access Monday, where we know he's alive and there.
Yeah.
But don't show him on a boat trying to outrun Titan X. That.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, okay, not only do we know he's alive, but it seems like he comes back pretty quickly. Unless they are daring to show the last, 2 episodes of the series in the trailer.
It's possible.
No one would ever do that.
No.
The ending to the to Amazing Spider-Man the movie was shown in the trailer.
Interesting.
So they could do it. Yep.
I'll have to double check that. I don't know. I don't think I ever watched those trailers.
That's okay. You didn't
yeah.
miss much.
I think we're all pretty cool with the entire cast coming back. Maybe Wyatt Russell got some acting lessons between now and then.
I do wonder.
also-
I mean,
Did
we
you
know
see
we know
Thunderbolts?
he
You didn't.
Oh, I did not see
I
Thunderbolts.
did see Thunderbolts, and he's still doing his thing. I know that
Is he typecast? Because I think his character is also just boring.
It could be.
As a young person, I don't think it's bad. I think that because he's military, I think he's boring. So is it Wyatt's fault, or is it that he's always put in these boring military cut and paste roles?
You're right. He does seem to fit into those roles pretty easily, pretty quickly. Sorry, Zach, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested, and also not at the same time, of how he's going to get out of confinement, because we know that he does because of his pilot connection in season 1. So we know that he does escape a couple times, but he ends up being caught and dragged back to the Monarch, pleasant old folks home prison facility. So
Right.
I'm not sure what else he's going to really be doing as a younger Wyatt or a younger Lee Shaw. I'm kind of interested in that, but also not. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on his entire character for season 2.
They could sunset his character, and if I were to do that, like, I feel like that character needs to run a course and then set everything up on its forward momentum, and then they go away. But
Now the new kaiju, they go very far out of their way to pretty much show everything. It's barely hidden in the teaser.
It's
and
true.
then in the full-on trailer. So I wrote down the kaiju is eeltopus. It's like Sharktopus, but an eel.
It's Jurassic Park. They're just making stuff up.
I know.
They're just blending it all
Interesting.
together.
So I am hoping I am wrong, but in the full trailer, there's one part where Titan X comes up out of the water, and all the tentacles come up and start flying around, and I go, okay, they're making you look like Biollante. I don't want you to be Biollante, but they are doing their damnedest to make this thing frickin' look like it, and
That's
I
true.
don't know if I want that. Maybe you could make it work, but also I know with Supernova they're teasing Space Godzilla. Maybe this is a way to tie them together because they were tied together
Oh
in
man, I hadn't even
Heisei.
considered that because I was
So
kind of wondering
I'm-
what they're gonna do. Oh,
I am now, after seeing that, I'm a little bit more thinking this is Legendary's version of Biollante, and it's going to somehow be involved with the Supernova supposed Space Godzilla that will show up. That's my guesstimate for season 2 in the future. I don't necessarily want to be right, but I could be pleasantly surprised. I don't know.
I'm gonna say I might be mad if you're right.
You and me
Mad
both.
because he's right, or mad because he's right?
Yeah, mad because he's right for both
I
of
give you
those.
permission to punch me. It's fine.
Oh man,
I mean, the trailer definitely delivers on kaiju, right? It definitely
Yeah.
makes us think that we're going to be jam-packed with kaiju.
Well, that's the job of a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, if you did Supercut from season 1, they could probably do the same thing and making us think that we're getting a bunch of kaiju. So I'm hopeful for that. Some more
Yeah.
monsters, more battles and destruction with monsters. Like that's what I'm here for. So
yeah, and but I guess before we move off of the design, Jose from Cinema Villains, I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to be Iris from Gamera.
No, much different look than Iris.
He's like, nah, it's just their version of doing Iris, and it's like, all right, buddy, whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep well at night.
Iris.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, we do get the water rumbles. Like the first 5 or 10 seconds of the trailer, they do, but it's 2 water rumbles, so ripples in the water. Well, yeah, we got twice that much in this trailer.
and twice the number of irises, or not like Iris, the
The kaiju.
corneas and irises in your eyeball.
Yeah, which is a fun design. Aesthetically, I think it kind of looks cool. And it is it's very American, which I kind of like, because when I saw it, my first thought was Sharktopus. What a fucking terrible movie, and how funny that is like our thing. Is like, okay, well, it's gonna have some type of sea creature head, but it's gotta have the Kraken's body, Kraken's tentacles, because we did that with Clash of the Titans too. Yeah, so they make the comment, it's a god, sea creatures worship it. So are we getting another kind of alpha along the lines of King Ghidorah, where there might be other things out there that do its bidding?
That's could be. I mean, when you think about it that way, and from that line.
Another thing of note is the Titan is clearly, okay, I say clearly, but this could be bait and switch. It seems that it is mentioned in both timelines. I can't remember the trailer exactly. And we don't know which timeline this would be mentioned in, but where season 1 ended, Lee Shaw Younger is now in the 80s. And when they show him talking about a kaiju, like, it could be earlier, but I'm going by the end of season 1, is that this thing existed in the 80s. And another thing of, like, how are we hiding this many massive kaiju when the world didn't seem aware that they existed until 2014?
That's a really great question.
That kind of gets back to, Corey, what you and I touched on in season 1, where we're seeing, like, a lot of setup for Monarch, but not what Monarch actually does. They're there, but what are they actually doing to monitor, to hide, to study? We didn't really get that in season 1. Maybe we'll get more of that in season 2, and how they were able to keep the wraps on these different titans all over the world that they discovered, similar to a Monster of the Week type thing, which I think would behoove them, now that we've got the base of Monarch. Now that we know, all right, we know how it started, we know how everybody was involved. All right, we're here, and this is what we do. Okay, great, thanks. Because once 2014 happens, we know of at least a couple Titans, and then King of the Monsters happens, and then there's fucking Titans in every direction, all over the fucking world, all waking up.
Everywhere.
So, Titans to the left of me, Titans to the right of me. We're stuck in the middle with them.
Yeah. Some people pay extra for that, but it's an interesting scenario to be in. That I want to see what Monarch does. I want to have a Monster of the Week. I want to have an X-Files type of thing. I want to have like early Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I want to have that kind of approach for season 2, and less of the overarching multi-storyline, multi-decade era. We've established the past.
Agreed.
Unless there's something major that connects to what's happening now in 2017.
17, yeah, I think
this
is where it
still
ended.
Before King of the Monsters. So Godzilla and Kong are going to run into each other and do something. So unless something major happens in the 50s and 60s, just tell the majority of the story here. Great.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a really good take. I would hope that they would do something like that, because I think we've got the lore, we've got the background, we've got the history. Like, let's just focus on what they do in the here and the now and all of those things. I think that's a really great thought.
So that nicely escorts us into what we hope to see in season 2. And I would agree with that, because Zach and I both kind of had the same opinion, where we were sort of glad that season 1 wasn't entirely a Monster of the Week, just to kind of get things going, because we wanted the focus. We enjoyed the fact that the focus was on Monarch, because we want to know what Monarch is and what they do.
We know one of those things.
Kind of, yeah. We sort of, because we're getting Monarch like decades apart each time.
Yeah.
So it's vastly different. At one point they're just 3 people, and at another point they're backed by the Navy, and at another point they're now like a government agency, and at another point they're now partnered with Apex Industries in the finale. But because we have kind of a silly roster of people. Not that they are themselves silly, but it's like you've got the school teacher, the entrepreneur brother, the pseudo hacker / like she's hippie girl, basically Shaggy if Shaggy were hyper intelligent as well. And we have a fun cast. Tim is kind of the fun bass guy, like little goofy. So I would love to see more of a Monster of the Week. I do want to see how Monarch functions. I think the involvement with Apex could potentially hinder what I want to see, because I'd forgotten about that until I rewatched it, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot they're now with Apex, so we don't even get to see what modern Monarch is like. We just get to see what Apex is like. I've got faith in that, but I do want to see more of what they do. Yeah, so Bob, you mentioned wanting to see someone have a connection with the monster. Season 1, I get it. We don't know these people yet. It's the development. But I'm in the same boat because I think you kind of have to have some weird connection, and Shuri can't be in here because she doesn't exist until GVK, which is years later after King of the Monsters.
Right.
So I would love to see some kind of a weird relationship between human and kaiju in this.
They would have to get a separate actress for this, because it's 2 years prior GVK, to be a slightly younger Shuri for Kong's connection.
Gotcha.
Well, if they don't include, if it's not the Shuri Kong relationship, even if it is like specifically Kate and Godzilla, some type of a weird connection, because Kate only exists in this series and not in the movies. So
yeah,
it could just be these particular instances.
So what you're saying is Godzilla gets around with his like human familiars,
his connections.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He has no loyalty. Yeah,
it just brings
not
like
at all.
it just brings something emotional to that story. It brings difficult decisions. It brings conflict to the characters amongst one another, because again, it's Godzilla. He's just trying to chill. He's just trying to do his thing. He's not all that bad.
Yeah. Hey, by the end of whatever the latest movie was, he was like sleeping in Athens. That's where he hangs out now. Just curls up in the bowl. He's fine. Good.
The Roman, he is a giant
the Colosseum.
Cat.
Yeah.
Right.
I sit.
Yeah, exactly. And it is weird to think that we won't get that Godzilla, because that is so many years later. We are going back to the 14 and what was that, 19? Can't remember when King of the Monsters came out.
19.
But I am hoping, because we've mentioned some issues with the characters in season 1. Season 1 is about development. I get it. I'm really hoping that that's the reason why that season 1 is the safe season, and they spend so much time developing these characters. I am hoping that we've unlocked everything, that all of the character outfits and character backstories have now been unlocked, and that now we can see all of them kind of open up. Because on this rewatch, I don't know if I can deal with the May that we had in season 1 anymore.
Agreed.
Because she's intentionally very withdrawn and kind of a boring person, but it's because she has like the weirdest secret of them all, that inadvertently directly links up to the company that in the future will create Mechagodzilla. So she's kind of a big deal, but I hope they're not making her that same person, because I don't think I'd be able to stand that.
Agreed. But I also agree, like, to your point, right? It was safe. All right, time to go balls out. It's time to like hit the gas and let's do something.
Let's have some fun. I mean, that's what Legendary is doing with their movies. It's like, I love -1 for what it was, because it was great Toho story, and then New Empire, as stupid silly as it was, I still like it because it's stupid silly. And we are gas pedal to the floor with that. So if season 2 is able to continue to increase and go up, all right, let's increase, more monsters, more interaction, more of that. Let's do it.
So that brings up a good point, because this is something that I have noticed about the Godzilla franchise and about a lot of franchises that I really enjoy. There is, you can essentially only have one, maybe two serious Godzilla films in a row, but before it gets boring. First movie, very serious, amazing film. Second movie tries to be serious, fails miserably. Raids Again is not a great film at all. You get Godzilla vs. Kong, and it's like, okay, this isn't bad, and it's the goofiness that saves it. But it is, for all intents and purposes, still a very serious movie. And then you get the waxing and waning of, are we serious or are we super goofy for the remainder of Showa. Even in the previous episode, I commented that it's like Mechagodzilla and Terror of Mechagodzilla are great films, but they were undone by their insanely goofy predecessors.
Yeah.
So you can't return to that. So I feel like the goofiness goes part and parcel with Godzilla. But for season 2, I do agree we need to kind of unload, like, both go hard, but also maybe lighten it up just a little bit. Because if it stays overly human dramatic, I don't think it's going to last into a season 3.
No.
Yeah, I would agree.
No. You did the human connection and exposition to set it up. That's what you do. You have to set things up or nobody follows along, and then you take a bit more risk and you have a bit more fun, like Bob said. Let's do it. All right? You have your base. Now add your flavor. Now add your taste. Now experiment. Have some fun with it, and then maybe you get a season 3 if that's what you're hoping to do. Mm-hmm. Or wrap it up at the end of season 2. Yeah. I don't fucking care. The best series that I watch know where they're going to start and end. Don't be like, oh, we're just going to go till they cancel us, because then we're fucked.
Yeah,
end this after 3.
I can't tolerate. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just plan. If you know that you're going to end at 2, 3, or 4, then plan for that. I'm fine with it. It could be a 2-season series. I'm okay with that. Just tell a good fucking story. End at 2, 3, 4, whatever. It's fine.
I don't think I can tolerate or sit through another full season of just us continuing to peel back layers of an onion, of learning more and more about this and that. Like, I feel like I'm watching Lost, right? Where it's like you never get any answers to anything. You just keep, every episode is just like peel back this layer until we reveal something that doesn't make sense in the end. So
Yeah.
can't do, like, if that's what they continue to do with these seasons, they end up in like a Lost thing where it's like nothing makes sense and nothing connects anymore because you're just trying to be as obtuse as possible, right?
Ooh,
so
look what we did. Oh, we did a thing that you didn't know what we did. What does this connect to? Fucking polar bear. We don't know.
Right, exactly.
I think we're all on the same page there. I don't mind Lost being, or not Lost, oh my god, Monarch being at the forefront of this.
Sorry.
No, I don't mind Monarch being at the forefront of this as long as they're able to keep it entertaining, by again showing us what Monarch does. Rather, like we know who's in Monarch now. We're done. We're over it. We did mention in our previous episode, hoping, like, one of the things that they could do to maintain interest is by going to other Monarch locations, because they're literally all over the world.
Everywhere.
They are all monitoring different titans.
Like the White Lotus, we go to a different spot every season.
Just, show me. It's cool if we get these characters for one more season, but we can even jump more into the future, say maybe a post King of the Monsters world after this season. Lead into maybe other Monarch locations, because I'm fine with that. Godzilla the Animated Series, the most fun part was that they were traveling. And Hanna-Barbera, they're on a boat, so they're going all over the fucking world. And so it's like having a base in different parts of the world, but Monarch does have bases all over the world. So it'd be kind of cool to see what the others are doing and eventually potentially shift the cast so we're not stuck. Don't give us their backstory, just make them be there.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of a wild ask, but maybe for the end of season 2 to lead into season 3 is like release these characters from their, eternal prison of monotonous Monarch storytelling, and then do more fun things after that. Do you have any other opinions, expectations for season 2, whether it's based on the trailer or based on your own thoughts?
I think we've covered it for me.
I'm good.
Gentlemen, thank you for the preseason. For those of you, I did not mention this at the top. This series starts February 27th and airs every single Friday. They're doing it weekly. So maybe we'll be doing it every week, maybe every other week, and then cover 2 episodes at once. We'll kind of figure it out. Either way, I'm excited to cover it with y'all. So, Bob, where can people find you in the meantime?
Well, please tune into the Great Pop Culture Debate on any podcast platform. We have a Best Kaiju episode with Zach and myself and a million other topics that we cover. It's a debate-style podcast, round robin, and you can find me at DisNerdBob on social things.
Nice. And Zach, how about you? Give us the abridged list. We don't have time. Don't have an hour to list all the podcasts you're on.
Yeah, I'm a whore. I get it. The Neatcast.com every week, and then we are gearing up for our Terminator season with Podcasters Assemble. That is kicking off in March, so submissions are always open for both movies. I don't know how we're going to make it last like multiple months, but both Terminator movies, because there's only 2.
All 2 of them, yep.
All 2 of them are there for submissions. Head on over to probablywork.com for that.
Genesis? Is Genesis there? Can I talk about Genesis?
Yes. You know what? You and me might be the 2 people that like that movie.
I do like Genesis quite a bit.
I gotta that's what is I saw 1 and 2. I think Genesis was the first one I saw in theaters.
Really?
I skipped. Yeah, I didn't see 3
Salvation?
until like
I saw Rise of the Machines in the theater.
Yeah.
Is that 4?
That's
Or
3.
is that,
That's 3, I think.
Oh, 3. Oh, okay.
Salvation was 4. Genesis is 5, and Dark Fate was 6, which killed the franchise.
Yeah, I saw
Truly
Dark Fate
was
in
a Dark
theaters
Fate.
too.
But that's a podcast conversation for another time.
And just like last time, I will once again recommend Season 8 of Podcasters Assemble, where we have the Kongzillathon for Podcasters Assemble. So go check that out as well. You'll find me on Podcasters Assemble. I will definitely be on the Terminator one. And as always, you can find me here on The World Is My Burrito. The World Is My Burrito anywhere you listen to podcasts. Twimby Podcast on social media platforms. I've been doing a little bit more in some of the stuff on Instagram. And email twimbypodcast@gmail.com if you have any opinions about... if you want to say anything about Monarch Season 1, the legendary stuff in general, feel free to reach out. And then, again, I'm sure I can take like 1 or 2 more people as guests since we have 10 full episodes to watch for this upcoming season. It is always fun to hear others' opinions. And then, I guess... listen to Bob shut them down.
No. I'm gonna love season 2. I'm gonna love it.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
So sweet when he lies.
Well, this will be a good release where I can just like get it out and then be like, okay, now I'll just enjoy it for what it is. So
yeah, ride the double ripple wave of season 2. So yeah, all right. So thank you all for listening to this episode. And again, tune into Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 at the last Friday of this month on Apple TV. Until then, I guess, we're out. Kaiju out.
Screonk.